Hey, Tommy,
Hey, are you my 1 o'clock?
you got it, man. What's going on? How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. I'm doing really good.
That's good. That's
Yeah,
good.
I'm finding stuff I thought I'd lost.
Oh yeah, I hear you on that one.
Yeah, yeah,
I hear you on that one.
it's funny. It's funny when you get old. Good thing I'm a comedian, man, because I can laugh at all my stupid stuff.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Anyways, man, I just want to say it's a pleasure to finally speak with you today, sir. It's been, what can I say, a long time coming. I'm sure,
Good.
I'm sure during these times, man, you're pretty much taking it easy, just like everybody else is, right?
Well, more or less, more or less. I'm not complaining. Uh,
Oh
you
no,
know,
no.
a lot of people worry about they can't travel, they can't do it. I'm glad to be stuck at home. When I got busted and I went to jail, I thought they were going to give me house arrest, and I was all happy for that. But instead, they put me in jail. But now I got house arrest, and I'm happy as can be.
I hear you, man. I hear you. To think back, the Cheech and Chong movies that you and Cheech Marin did. Oh my goodness, man. To this day, Tommy, I still watch them.
Yeah, yeah, they hold up. I mean, it's kind of amazing how what, it's 50 some odd years now. It's been quite a while. That's it, in a way. But the thing is, we found about the weed. We found that really early, and just hung with it. And now look at it; it's just paying off like crazy.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So I guess my first question would be for you, Tommy, would be what is it like for you as a cannabis activist?
It's actually it's very, very good, very nice. You know, comedy has a shelf life. You're in, and then all of a sudden you're not. And then you're nostalgic. The thing is about being active, especially the way we keep finding out new and better things. Uh, it's great. It's great. I mean, elevated. I'm working on a character with Cheech where I'm the Pope of Dope, and so I want to. Yeah, I'm elevating. Slowly working up the food chain. And I think if I become the Pope of Dope for the world, uh, I think that would be a nice way to sort of put a capper on the whole career.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Also, though, I mean, a lot of people may not know this, and actually, I never knew this until just the other day when I watched the interview with you on not Live Five, W5. You weren't you a musician before you became an actor?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I've been a musician since I was 8 years old,
Wow.
and playing for dances, and then playing for dances, more dance house parties, then dances, and then concerts, and then recordings. We were with Motown. I had a group that was with Motown, and that was our crowning glory. That's when I was a black guy. That was back in the day, and yeah, yeah. I'm still a musician. I still I got my guitars and I got my amplifiers. It's funny. When I was a kid, I couldn't afford anything. Seriously. If I broke an E string, that would be meant a trip with my dad uh, to the music store to buy one E string,
Wow.
not a guitar a set of guitar strings, but to buy one string. And yeah, because I played for dances, for the house parties and that. Then, my dad, I was deemed essential. But
Uh,
yeah, yeah, I'll always be a musician.
Wow. I mean, exactly. And a comedian and a great actor all in one, right? So you got a lot of great things that to be proud of, Tommy.
Yeah, well, when I was a kid, I never turned down a job. You know, and I've worked all my life. Because that's what happens when you grow up in the country. As soon as you're big enough to carry something
Hmm.
from one place to another, you go to work. You know,
Oh, absolutely.
and I've been working all my life, and I've been enjoying it. I couldn't do school. School, it was a mystery to me. I couldn't figure out numbers, uh, but I could read, and I loved literature, and and music was always something that I could do, but it was something I did out of job. It was like out of necessity. I never had a parent say, "Oh, you got to practice," or anything like that. It was like uh, I wake up, you got to go play for a house party. so I was a gigging musician since I can remember.
Wow. Well, that's amazing, Tommy. That's amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, another Cheech and Chong movie that I like is next movie, of course. Now, Cheech plays two people in this movie, right?
Yes.
He plays Dwayne as well, Red.
Yeah, the cousin Red. Yeah,
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 cousin Red.
yeah.
Oh, that was that. Actually, I loved your role that you did with Paul, as we all know as Pee Wee Herman, Paul Rubin as Pee Wee Herman.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, that role right there. Oh my God, there was like two roles. One where you're almost shaking the life out of him, and then of course you steal his comedy away at a party.
Yeah, yeah. We had next movie. We had so much fun with that movie. Well, no, let's see. With Pee Wee, yeah, Pee Wee was in next movie. He was the hotel clerk,
Yep,
and then Nice Dreams. He was hamburger.
hamburger. Yeah, yeah, he was. He was.
Well, that's what I learned. What I learned, when I got into comedy. I'm doing a podcast. When I was what was my train of thought now?
Mhm.
Oh yeah, when I was trying to get into comedy, I started going to improvisational theater.
Yeah.
The committee in San Francisco was the first time I saw that, and when I saw improvisational theater, I was just hooked. I just loved being entertained anyway, and doing skits like that. And that really got me into comedy.
Wow.
Just watching that, and so when I had a chance to direct and produce our own movies, I would go to the improv clubs, which was in LA, was the Groundlings, and that's where I found Pee Wee and a ton of other people. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. And yeah, a lot of people may not know this, but you directed a lot of the Cheech and Chong movies. Now,
Well, I kind of directed all of them, but I
yeah.
got credit. I got
Oh,
credit for the
oh,
last
absolutely.
five. Like I directed the Cheech and Chong parts in Up in Smoke.
Oh,
Lou
yeah.
Adler, yeah, yeah. Lou Adler took the credit for direct, and I got to give him credit because it was Lou's touch that made Up in Smoke the massive hit that it was. I had modest hits, but with Lou and I together, man, we had a monster hit because Lou, he that's where he hung out at that level. Like after we signed with Lou, went to a party at his house, and there's the Rolling Stones, there's half the Beatles, there's Jack Nicholson, all these stars. That's what Lou would, and then he had Carole King, the hottest selling album in history until Michael Jackson came along, and so Lou's touch, even though he only directed the one movie. It was the massive hit because of Lou.
Wow. Amazing. And they're all amazing movies. And another besides Cheech and Chong movies, you were also in that 70s show.
I love that '70s show.
Oh my God. I mean, and you know what? I can almost guarantee it was very surprising for the audience to say, wait a minute, that's Tommy Chong.
Well, I got to give kudos to the '70s show writers because I was on it like 5 years. 1 year I was in jail, but they
Yeah.
still held the part open for me. And then when I got out, I did another year. So I was almost the whole trip. I think I missed 2 years in the beginning, but 2 seasons. But I saw a whole what do you call it, like a preview of all the shows, and you know what I realized? I never wrote one line in that whole show.
Wow.
I think I got one line in there where I ad libbed, and it was with Tim the Tool Man. We're doing a bit, and I think I added something like I think 2 inches, something like that, some ridiculous. It was ridiculous, and we had to talk about it, and then we talked to the writers, and the writers said, "Yeah, well, let's try it, and if we leave it in, we leave it in." But the magic of those writers, can you imagine that? I
Yeah.
mean, I've been, Up in Smoke, all those, we wrote every line practically was written by Cheech and Chong. But the '70s show, I never wrote one line. It
No.
was all writers.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you still did a great job.
Yeah. Well, I did it because of that.
Oh yeah.
Because of that. Yeah. Because what I realized is that Cheech and I together, boom, unstoppable. But without Cheech, it wasn't that easy.
Oh no.
Because we'd been together 7 years before we did the movie. So yeah. I've enjoyed my life.
Well, that's great. Wasn't Cheech in Vancouver, and that's how you guys met?
Yep. Yep. He was recovering from a broken leg. He had
Okay.
really broke his leg bad trying to ski. Mexican tried to ski the double diamond, the double diamond hills in Banff, Alberta, Canada. It's a recipe for disaster.
Oh, I can
And
imagine.
so he broke his leg, compound fracture, and then he was recovering. And then a friend of his was out in Vancouver, so he was visiting his friend actually and working, trying to make a living in Vancouver, and that's where I met him.
Oh.
And a mutual friend, the guy he was working for, he was writing a hippie newspaper called Poppin',
Okay.
and and I was looking for an actor. I was looking for a straight man actually, and Ihor, the friend of ours, he said, "Oh, I know this funny guy. You should meet him." So I met Cheech. He was Richard at the time. I met Richard Marin,
Yep.
and and I loved him right from the very first time I met him because he's such a character.
Oh.
He's always been a character,
Oh.
but I saw the magic right away,
Wow.
right away.
Wow.
And so then I told him what I had going. He's, well, let me look at it. Let me come down, and he auditioned me. He really did. He really did, and so he got the part. He really did.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Fantastic. But you're also in, I think a few years ago, weren't you also in a sci-fi horror called Color Out of Space?
Yeah, it was actually 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
It was 2 years ago.
Now,
Yeah.
just let the good people know, Tommy, that movie will scare the living daylights out of you, correct?
Well, what's really weird? It was exactly a year before the virus came to America.
Wow.
We foreshadowed that virus. Our movie did, because the whole story was that this strange virus came from outer space and it's affecting everybody and everything, and people were dying, and and yeah, and And a year later, we're all locked down because of what? A virus.
Exactly.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know. Scary.
Yeah. I personally, I never did enjoy scary movies. You know, a lot of people did. I'm too, I got too much of an imagination.
Right on.
And, I've never liked, not only not like scary movies, but bad things always happen to the cast of people in those movies, you
Oh,
know,
oh yeah.
like Linda Blair, you know,
Oh,
all these weird
oh,
things happen.
yeah.
Yeah, because you conjure up the evil spirits when you do go that route, you
Oh
know.
yeah. You do.
I always I could kind of felt it in Color Out of Space. You know, the setting where we were at, it was an old Portuguese mansion, and it hadn't been touched for 200 years, you know, so it was kind of kept sort of, but it had that the really old, creepy, you know, scary. Oh yeah, yeah. No, I don't like horror movies, man.
I hear you.
And yet I told Cheech, I said the only thing we never done is Cheech and Chong, you know, horror movie, you know, like Abbott and Costello. But and now Cheech, he kind of wants to do one, but no, life's too short.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. I mean, we hear about bad things in the world every day, and they now they're putting it into movies. I mean, I guess once in a while, I mean, I'll watch. I mean, I'm a movie kind of person, anyways. But I mean, I do have my
Yeah,
limits. If I think it's a little bit too foolish, I just turn it off. You know what I mean? One,
yeah. Well, there's so many good things to be looking at.
oh,
You know,
absolutely.
that's the whole thing. Like television being locked down. You know, can you imagine being locked down a few years ago when there had only one or two channels?
Oh,
You know. Yeah. But then again, we had radio, but yeah, no, life. Well, it depends on what you're here to do, you know. But I
exactly.
definitely, you know, I got too much of an imagination, and I'd rather be on the bright side. You know, I
Exactly.
like sunshine. I like daytime. I
Oh,
like sunshine. You
you're
know,
very
I
spiritual
spent a
person
whole
too.
yeah, oh, very, 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 very much because I can afford to be.
Oh,
You
absolutely.
know,
Absolutely.
and not only afford to be, but I want to keep the ball rolling,
Oh,
you know?
definitely. Definitely.
And the way you do that is by being generous
Hmm.
and by knowing who you are and by helping others.
Oh,
Uh,
absolutely.
because you never know which of the others are an angel that's going to change your life. You have no idea, but they're
And
there.
and your angel was Shelby.
Oh, oh, you better believe it.
Oh, I have someone
You
special in
better
my life too,
believe it.
Tommy. Don't. I have someone special in my life too, and she makes me happy. I mean, we don't live together, but she still makes me happy.
You don't live together
No, no,
yet?
not no. But we
Is
do.
that by choice? Is that by
Oh,
choice
well,
or is she?
actually, no. Actually, I can't afford to right now, so that's why. That's why. That's why. But hey,
Hey, but but the connection is there, and
exactly.
when you do finally get it, yeah, it's going
Yeah.
to be great.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
oh yeah.
yeah. You know, that's one thing. One thing I passed on to my kids. You know, I mean how special uh, the woman is, you know, and my kids and their mom, you know, they argue and they fight and they, you know, nothing serious, but they respect her
Oh,
because she's so talented. You know, she's the one that got me. I mean, I've known her since she was in high school.
mm,
She was 15, 16 years old when I met her,
wow.
and I was married. I had two little girls. And no, I actually had one little girl, and then I ended up with the second one. Uh, uh, you know, we were just, Shelby and I were just friends until she matured, become a woman, and then it was a friendship that turned into love. It
Ah,
turned into
that's nice.
love. She's the love of my life.
Oh, absolutely.
And, yeah, yeah, and she was the one that encouraged me.
Mhm.
You know, first with the clubs, with the nightclubs. I had a nightclub when I met her, and it was actually the third club. The other two fell apart because of various reasons.
Mhm.
But now I was in this one, and it was like the day I met her, the club was actually failing. We didn't know what we were doing. It was given to us by the building, the guy that owned the building, and he just wanted a band and to create, have a nightclub. And then I met Shelby,
Mhm.
and at the time the club was empty, and we were just using more like a rehearsal hall. And I met Shelby, and then we had to do other gigs, and so she came to the teen fair. That's where I met her, and we're playing at the teen fair. And she was still in high school, and her sister, she had a younger sister, and they were gorgeous. Both of them were just knockout gorgeous beauties. And so we're driving home. We're going to give them a ride to the club, to the hot club.
Okay.
And and so they go to the hot club, and then we're going to go to our club, which wasn't the hot club. So we drop her off at the hot club. We drive to our club, and we're playing. Next thing I know, there's a commotion at the door. I look up, and there's Shelby, and and a whole everybody from the other club.
Wow.
She
Wow.
was like a Pied Piper. What happened was that because she was young and barefoot, they were barefoot at the time. They couldn't get in to the hot club, and so then they said out loud, "Oh, I know a club we can go to." And so everybody followed her to 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 my club, and from that day we were packed solid from that
Wow.
day on.
Oh.
And it was all because Shelby said, "Oh, I know a club we can go to." and and my brother wasn't going to let her in because she's young and barefoot. And I
Mhm.
told him, I give my brother the sign. It's okay, let her in.
You're in.
And we were just friends. We were just friends. She was actually a neighbor, and then we were just friends. And then friends got a little intimate, and next thing you know, and next thing you know, we here we are.
What can I say? It was meant to be. It was meant to be.
It was definitely meant to be. No, that's why when people say to me, because I do, I'm very proud of my spirituality. How spiritual, and so I tell people, yeah, when they, sometimes you meet skeptics, they say, "Do you believe in God?" I said, "Oh, yeah. Are you kidding?" I said, "Not only believe in God, but I know God really likes me." And they say, "How do you how do you figure that?" I said, "Have you seen my wife?"
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Now you've written some books, Tommy. I mean, so many will be here until Christmas, but I'm going to name a few. Cheech and Chong, the unauthorized biography, and you also wrote the I Chan Meditations from the Joint. Now, did you
That's
write
right.
that? Did you write that when you were in prison?
Yes, I did. I did. I did. I wrote that, and I had my cellmate, or cellie as we call him, was Jordan Belford. And so Jordan wrote Wolf of Wall Street, and I wrote Meditations from the Joint at the same
Wow.
time.
Okay. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And as we
It
all
was.
know, not to get into a big subject about it, but prison is no woman or man's best friend.
It can be.
It can be.
It
Okay.
can be. Yeah, yeah. No, it definitely can be. It can be, I mean, there's a lot of, it depends on what you bring in to
Right.
prison,
Okay.
you see. Now, if you bring in the right attitude, like I did,
Right.
you can thrive.
Okay.
You can thrive because all it is really, it's just like a camp where there's rules.
Oh yeah.
And the difference is that you don't break these rules.
No.
you know
No.
and
Not.
what I found out is that I realized that I've been kind of getting ready for prison all my life, because when I was a toddler, I ended up in the hospital. I spent a year, almost 2 years, in a general hospital, because I had pleurisy, and at the same time my mother had TB, tuberculosis, and so she was quarantined in her sanitarium in Calgary, in Bowness Park. I was in the general hospital downtown Calgary, and and then when I left after I got cured of the pleurisy, because my mother was still in the hospital, and my dad, he was suffering from some war wounds that he got when he was in the Second World War. We were put in a home, like an orphanage, a Salvation Army home. So I went from the hospital to the home. So I've always had this incarcerated background, you know. And so when I went into prison, it was like going home,
Right.
you know. I mean, the whole dormitory, and the whole rules, and this is what you do and this is what you don't do. And so I thrived. Because the person, I'm famous, and so when I went to prison, it was like being embedded with the fans, you know.
No. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, the first day, all I did was take pictures with the inmates, all day, click, 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 pictures. In fact, they finally came up with a rule that, because I was packing the visitors room, because I'd take pictures with the visitors, and so next thing you know, the visiting room was packed every weekend, and it was because of me.
Yeah.
And so the prison said, you can't take pictures with the guests anymore, with the visitors anymore. But I still did. But I know how. The thing is, when you break a rule, you go tell them right away, and then it's okay because you told them.
Oh, exactly.
And you're not trying to get away with anything.
No.
But yeah, I've been incarcerated. That's why it was quite enjoyable for me. I never had a bad time at all, because
Well, that's good.
because of my because of my spiritual training.
Oh yeah.
That got me through, because so many people find God in prison, you know,
Hmm.
and which is good,
Okay.
because that's the only way you can survive,
Oh,
Uh,
absolutely.
yeah,
You got to
yeah,
believe in yourself, Tommy.
yeah. You got to believe in yourself, and you got to know there is a higher power,
Oh.
and you gotta respect.
Oh.
Got to respect it. If if you have that ability, because a lot of us work here to learn, and like, you can't learn anything in the spiritual world because it's just love.
Hmm.
The physical world is where we do all our learning, right
Oh.
here,
Oh, absolutely.
because other than that, there's nothing to learn in the spiritual world.
Oh.
You just are spiritual. You're just there.
Yep.
You're just there, and it's made of love. But in the physical world, whoa, there's so much to learn,
Oh.
and what to do and what not to do.
Yeah, that is true. What was it like for you meeting the Beatles, or did you meet all the Beatles
Everybody except Paul.
except Paul?
Paul
Didn't you actually smoke marijuana with John?
with George,
Okay.
and John Lennon was in the room.
Oh, John was
Uh,
in the room at the time. Okay, cool.
he was in the room. I was at Lou Adler's house,
Uh-huh.
and it was a big party,
Wow.
and the Stones were there, and Mick, at least Mick was there, and John, and I think John. I didn't see anybody else but John. Yeah, I think it was just John Lennon,
Right.
and there's Paul Rod Stewart.
Rod
And
Stewart.
so I lit a joint in the room where John was. I didn't see him until I lit it, and I looked down there. He's sitting on the floor
Okay.
by the bed, and I offered him a toke, and he goes, "No, thanks, you. I got immigration problems."
Okay.
And then Rod Stewart came in, so I offered it to Rod. Rod said, "No, thanks, my voice."
All right. Okay.
Yeah,
Right on.
but I did eventually meet George.
Okay.
He played on Cheech and Chong album one time, and we became pretty good friends because he's a guitar player. I'm a guitar player. He's a spiritualist. I'm a spiritualist. So we hit it off really well. And I smoked out with George a couple of times.
Okay.
And yeah. And one time we were smoking, and we went. Another guy joined us, and I looked. It was Wally from Leave It to Beaver.
Okay. Wow.
that was a trip, Wally.
I can imagine. I can imagine. Did you ever meet other great, let's say, musicians like Alice Cooper? Did you ever meet him?
I know Alice. Oh yeah,
Okay.
Cheech and I. We've known Alice since the beginning. Shep Gordon is manager, I guess, and Cheech are
Yeah,
really tight.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I've
Cheech
tried
and
a few times
Alice are
to
tight.
get an interview with Alice, but I mean, Chef never got back to me. So he probably gets a lot, like yourself, a celebrity. You probably get a lot of messages. It's like it's hard to keep track of all of it, right?
Well, the managers take care of it for me.
Oh yeah,
I've
oh
got
yeah,
John Paul and my son.
yep.
Yeah. Met Alice. Oh yeah, met quite a few, of the music stars.
Oh yeah,
Uh, all the Doobie Brothers and War and
oh yeah.
yeah,
Eric Burden.
Kiss. I met all the Kiss.
Oh yeah,
Didn't meet Eric. I don't think we met Eric. Uh, Peter Asher.
yeah.
We got friends with Peter and his wife Wendy.
Okay.
We're pretty tight friends, and we know people like I've never met Paul, but Paul knows who I am, and he knows my bucket list is to get high with him, and it's kind of on his bucket list too. He, he,
You
he,
never
he
know. You
wouldn't
two might
mind.
meet with someday, hopefully.
No, we're going to hook up. We're trying to find a way. And Sting became a friend
Okay.
through another astrologist, Deborah. Deborah, the astrologist. Yeah, we hooked up with Sting. And Cheech and I were big Sting fans. Don't stand so close to me.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we did that in one of our movies. And who else did I meet? Oh yeah, I met the Who.
Oh yeah.
Met those guys. Met yeah, a couple of guys. I haven't met Eric Clapton yet,
No.
uh, and because I'm a guitar player and I really admire his guitar playing. But we have mutual friends, and yeah, yeah. We Cheech and I opened one time at uh, what do you call it? A free show. What do you call it? Free shows. um, to raise money for the Nicaraguan
Like
earthquake.
I'm guessing now. I could be wrong what I'm about to say there, Tommy, but I'm going to give the old college try. Charity events. Is that it?
Yeah, it was a charity, or to raise money,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
for the Nicaraguan thing.
Okay.
And so there was what's her name? Country song singer
Mm,
with the gray hair. Oh,
right
come
here.
on. Her name can't. Anyway, she went on first, and then we went on.
Oh,
And it was the first time we played at the Forum, and it was the first time LA really saw Cheech and Chong in a big concert setting.
wow.
And there was like 17,000 people, and we killed them. Oh, we just tore them up, tore up the stage, and yeah, it was the Stones, and then the Stones headlined them. So
Okay.
we,
Wow.
I got to go into their little rehearsal room where they were playing very loud. Stones, Jimmy, and all those guys, and Jimmy and I were we got to be pretty good friends. You know, played. He played a whole night with us one night in England.
All right. On.
Uh, we met. Oh, you know who I met, and I wanted to hook up with, and then he died. Bill Withers.
Oh, Bill Withers.
When Bill first started playing, everybody performed at the Troubadour in L.A.
Oh yeah.
and and so we were like the house comedians at the Troubadour at the time. We would open for all these name acts, and so we opened for Bill Withers, and so Bill and I became pretty good friends.
Oh,
He's
definitely.
such a sweet guy,
Most definitely.
such a sweet guy, big, tall
Oh, is
Bill
he?
Withers, big guy. Yeah, he hugged me. I'll never forget it, man. We saw each other, and he gave me a big hug, and he was a comedian, like almost all musicians. You know, they really are good comedians. I
Oh,
have never met a musician that never had a great joke, great sense of humor. You know, because music and comedy are so much alike. You know, yeah, Bill Withers, yeah, Cannonball,
oh
yeah,
yeah. Ain't no sunshine
all
when
the
she's
jazz,
gone.
yeah. Oh, and I wrote a song, you know, Lean on Me.
Oh yeah.
That song, I wrote a version for the pandemic.
Okay.
Instead of lean on me, I said, get away from me
Oh.
if you're not well,
Oh.
if you're feeling sick,
Oh.
go home, get into bed. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah,
Awesome. Awesome.
I got a whole thing. Cheech and I'm going to get Cheech, and we're going to do a whole album. Yeah, because we've got nothing else to do. We might as well go back and do another recording. You know.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, when this pandemic finally goes kaput, which, well, I'm sure won't be anytime soon, but when that does happen, are you going to schedule some events or concerts?
We'll see. We'll see what's going on. You know
Yeah.
how they're going to do it. You
Oh,
know,
yeah, definitely.
they canceled. They canceled. What's a big Coachella, and
Oh, yeah.
yeah, they canceled that again.
Wow.
And the other one, the other big one, I don't know. You know, I don't know how soon it's going to be safe. You know, the whole world has to be vaccinated.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
yeah, and you know, crowds and spreading and that. I don't know. We might be in for a new, you know, a new way of, well, like we're doing, you know,
Exactly. Oh, yeah.
like we're doing now,
Oh, absolutely.
and I can see, like me, I'm binge watch TV now like crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I used to feel guilty about it, but now
Oh, no.
we got nothing else to do,
Exactly.
and not only binge watch, but I surf. You know, I'm a really good surfer because you know, I don't like to always be entertained with drama or comedy or anything. I like to see real. That's why the reality shows were so amazing, because what's more interesting than seeing real things happening? And but I like I watched Channel 5 last night, and there was a chase. I don't know. Did you see it? Some nutcase shot up somebody, and then he got in his car and he led the police on him. When I tuned out, they were still. He was going real slow, and they're going into the fourth hour of this. The
Oh,
fourth
wow.
hour,
Wow.
and it showed the freeway backed up for miles because they shut the freeway down for 4 hours.
For hours.
4 hours.
Oh man.
And this guy was going like 11 miles an hour.
Wow.
And then he would stop and the cops get out their guns and open the door. Then he'd take off again.
Exactly. In other words, Tommy, if that was a trip, that was the best trip.
And then they would, all cops would pile back in their car and then they'd follow real slow because he apparently he's crazy. So it was on so long, I had to turn it off, go eat, and then went to bed, forgot all about it. So today I'm looking for what happened to the chase.
Oh.
and I don't know how to use my phone yet where I could, find out, I'll get my son to show me.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure I'm sure you'll figure it out eventually. But I have to say, you have quite the following on Twitter, for example. I mean, man,
Yeah.
I'm sure you get a million upon million of tweets every day. It's like, and of course, being a musician, being a celebrity as you are, you don't always have time to answer all that stuff. But I'm sure you have people that do it for you.
Well, no, what I do, I have a cameo. I do cameos.
Oh, yeah.
So if they want a shout out or something, they pay, and I do a shout out for them. And then a lot of them, they'll ask me questions about weed or something,
Oh, yeah.
And no, I'm not overwhelmed at all.
No.
At all. I get my share. I get maybe anywhere from 5 to 10 fan requests for a picture. They send me a picture in a return envelope, and I autograph it and stuff like that. I've been doing that for 50 years.
Wow.
Forever.
Oh my goodness.
Forever.
Man. Oh, absolutely.
Forever. Yeah. In fact, when I was in prison, I saved all my fan mail. Mm-hmm. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an art project where I put them up. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it yet, but where I glue them onto some canvas and that, and do an art. I'm going to do an art exhibit with all my fan mail. I haven't figured out how to do it yet, but I'll get there. Yeah, I'm a hoarder. I'm a collector.
Oh, I hear you, man. I hear you. Well, that's good. And I see a lot of great guitars behind you here. I mean, these are great guitars you got here, Tommy.
This is my third collection. I had 2 stolen on me. I had 2 other ones ripped off. But there again, I'm a comedian, right? And so every time someone steals from me, I go, "Oh, good. Now I can get a new one."
Yeah, there you go. There you go, man. There you go.
Yeah, I'm not attached. I'm not attached to anything.
What can I say, man? I mean, you've always been a fan of mine. I really admire you as a person first, then an actor and a musician and a comedian. But I respect you as a person first before.
Well, good. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome, sir. And what can I say? It was a lifetime dream to be able to interview the legendary Tommy Chong. I'm sure you don't do too many interviews nowadays.
I do a few, usually 2 or 3 a week.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, 2 or 3 a week. Oh, yeah. It depends, guys like you and girls, that have a thing.
And just so you know, that picture of me on the top there, you'll see a picture of me on the top there. I'm sure you see it there. That is actually that was actually taken yesterday because as John Paul, I'm sure he mentioned, I don't have a cam on my desktop computer. Otherwise, I will be able to wave to you today. So, so that's the thing.
I thought you were just being polite there.
Oh yeah. No, that's actually me. I took that picture of myself yesterday, so I feel pretty good. 44, I mean, very active.
Oh, you're a baby. You're a baby. My son just got married. He's 44, 45.
Oh, yeah.
He just got married.
Wow.
He just got married. Got an instant family. How about you? Are you? Does your girlfriend?
I live with my mom, so I mean, yeah.
No, but does your girlfriend have any kids?
Oh, yeah, she has a family. Oh, yeah, she has a family.
And you're the oldest kid, huh?
Yeah. Actually, there's quite a bit of an age difference between me and the girlfriend, but I mean, hey, I love her all my heart. What can I say? She's the best thing that ever happened to me, and that's all that counts.
That's all that counts. Yeah.
So,
Well, yeah, I'm going to go have lunch with my son.
all right. And before I
And
go, Tommy, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your quarantine, and all that good stuff to speak to me today. I super appreciate it. God bless you, sir. All the best to you, and please keep yourself safe.
and let's do it again, okay?
We will. Well, definitely. Take care. All right. Bye
And
bye.
take care, man.
Bye bye.